Welcome to Hot Takes Cold Brew. I'm Gary Sylvain, and I'm here with my co-host Danielle Dillard.
Under
Hi, and she has a little cat hat on and her cat sweater. Would you like to show the audience your sweater?
oh, this is the Las Vegas cat. He got money
Ooh.
glasses.
And I also have my brew, my coffee. Danielle does not have a coffee
Yeah, I
today,
don't have a
but
beverage at this time.
right, we'll do that next time. So this episode we read Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is the cover that I had. There was a lot of cover arts. Um, I prefer it like more simple. Did yours look different?
No, mine looks like the one you have.
Okay.
It's the
So
same.
yeah, this is the one that I have. It's a hardcover, which I think is excessive
I
for
like
this book.
hardcovers. You don't?
I think they're heavy. And I
Um,
carry a book with me at all times. So like I just didn't think,
that's fair.
no shade to the writer. I don't think this book is worth the weight that I have to carry around.
That's you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. I like the hardcover because if I have a paperback, it's likely to get torn up.
That's fair. It's just
So it's
yeah.
more of a utility. I don't. I guess I didn't really think about it like being worth the
Well,
weight.
it's just like that's just like me being pretentious, I think, but also I just don't want to carry this big ass book that's heavy as fuck, and I also don't read at home.
Oh, that's
So like,
funny. I took this on every plane, every trip. I had it right in my purse. I never even thought about it. Maybe my
oh
purse is
yeah.
already heavy.
Yeah, and also like I think because I commute with like a big backpack that's like 40 pounds and like my
Yeah.
bag that's like also like 20 pounds, having this in there to add to that, I'm just like, I just don't want this book in here. It's too big. But it's
Yeah.
a hardcover. I think he specifically only sold hardcovers. I did not see paperbacks of this book at all.
Huh.
Um, so a brief summary of this book, Danielle, she hand wrote her summary.
Well, I handwrite all notes on all books that we will be reading. So I handwrote for the last one as well. But so basically, just brief summary: Earth's time is up. It's being reclaimed for resources by some alien species, and so anyone not outside during the event was crushed and killed. So
Right.
if you're in a building, just collapse, you're dead. So our main character, Carl, was outside retrieving his cat, Princess Donut, from a
Mhm.
tree. And so that's how he survived. But he was only wearing his underwear and I think a bomber jacket. He didn't even have shoes. So just to set
Yeah.
the scene.
Well, thank
Um,
you for that.
so he survived, and I think a little while after this event, some stairs appeared, and there was an announcement where humans had the choice to stay up top on Earth and fend for themselves, or they could enter the dungeon and become a contestant in an alien game show. So it was pretty cold. I believe they started off in Seattle, so he's like, I gotta go in there just because it's cold and we freeze to death. So then our main character Carl and Princess Donut enter the dungeon and hijinks ensue.
What are your initial impressions of the book? Did you like this book?
Um, I enjoyed the book. I felt like it was a fun read and it kind of felt like I was reading a video game.
Okay.
Like I felt like it was one of those books where you really could get a lot of imagination. Like you just kind of if you just let yourself uh, create the world in your
Yeah.
mind. I thought it was fun. How
Okay.
about you?
I at first thought it was really fun. I thought the concept was cool. I felt like, contrast to last book, I felt like this book could have been shorter, like significantly. Um, I felt like things dragged on. I felt like there was some character development that was like that could have been delved into more with some characters, including the main characters. Um, I just I thought it was kind of mid. low key. Like, I thought it was kind of mid because it was just corny. Like, and I don't know, have you ever read Captain Underpants as a kid?
No,
Have
because
you
I
heard of
feel
it?
like that wasn't really. I feel like that was kind of after my. I don't know. I feel like it came out after I would have been reading that.
Okay, fine. Well, this is like a
I've heard
Captain
of it, but I have not read it.
Oh, so and it's basically like Captain Underpants for grown-ups. It's like people who loved Captain Underpants as a kid grew up and
Would
like
love this book.
hoping for this book to come out. It's
Huh.
like a grown-up version of that. And it's just like I get it. It's like fun and like it's cheap humor.
Mhm.
And I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. I'm not saying like no one should read this book. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm
Right.
just saying like it's just like very middle of the road. It wasn't like I didn't have a lot of like laugh out loud moments that a lot of people on Goodreads seem to have listening to it on audio. Um, and yeah, I felt like it was an easy read,
Hmm.
and I felt like it was easy to like kind of go through it. But there were parts of it where I'm just like, let. It was
Yeah.
just, I don't know, and like I did not care for. I guess I don't care for like how he just was like such a cornball. Like I feel like, and I'm sure I'm I'm fairly confident you would agree that Princess Donut was the best part of this book.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, I don't know if I would say. I mean, obviously, it's a cat character, so I do thoroughly enjoy that aspect, and I felt that the cat was a good addition. But I thought they were like a fun duo. See, I guess I would ask you this question: do you have a strong dislike of comic books?
No.
Okay. Because this book kind of reminds me of when I read Watchmen. Like it just reads like a kind of a comic type of thing or like a video. It just feels like an interactive type of read rather than a book, like a novel. Um,
So
but
here's my
I'll go ahead.
sorry. Here's my feedback about it being interactive because a lot of how it's described, even by the author on um, Reddit, because he like started a Reddit thread of like just basically saying I'm so great.
Hmm.
Here's what I did with this book. He says it's role playing, but I'm like, which role am I playing as the reader? This is me just it's reading like a screenplay basically.
I mean, I think that's the point. That's why it's like I asked you like comics because I think it's sort of like each whatever you're reading, you kind of like you kind of I guess for me it's like you kind of imagine yourself as the character or I don't know how to describe
Is
it.
that how you read it?
I mean, I thought it was fun. I had a
But did
lot
you
of
read
fun
it
reading
as
it.
like the characters?
I
Like you
laughed.
were like, I feel like I'm in Carl's place right now.
I mean, kind of because it feels. I guess that's why, like for me, it did feel very much like a video game. Like it reminded me when I played Tomb Raider.
I mean, all right. So like,
So
I
I
got
kind of
that you like
imagine that I'm
playing.
like there with them.
See, I felt like it was like playing. It was like playing a video game as if I was watching someone else play a video game. It wasn't like I felt like I was a part of it. Like if I was like 10 and watching my older brother play video games, like that's what it felt like. Like
Yeah.
I had no agency in what was happening. I had like it was just like cuz at least in a comic book, you see the character's facial expression and you can read it in like a certain like tone of voice based off of like their facial expression and then you're like kind of in it, you're narrating it, you're essentially in a way like kind of directing it in a way, reading
Hmm.
a comic book. But with this as a book, it's it just didn't feel like that. It just felt like I was reading a cheesy book. And uh I'm shocked that you think that Carl is on the same footing as Princess Donut. Like I'm actually floored.
I mean, I just
like
enjoyed both characters. I felt like they kind of they
like
went together
equally.
well.
That's
So
wild.
I guess I kind of felt like, it made sense. Like they were just a good team. But I guess I feel like I imagined the things that were happening. So it did feel like I was there. Like it kind of felt like I was there with them. So I thought
Interesting.
it
And
was.
what role were you playing while you were there?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know if I would say felt it was a role play, but I guess I could see where he's going. Like I kind of just felt like I was part of the team. So maybe
That's
not them, but I felt like I was part of the team, and I did imagine like their expressions, or because there's less sarcasm, or there's jokes. So I kind of just put filled in the blanks of what I imagined the characters to look like and how they're reacting.
I mean, I get that, but I personally did not feel like it was interactive. I guess that's what I'm, and I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's like my perception of the book. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm in this with them. I was just like, okay, this is what they're doing. Also, I know that it's supposed to be a maze. I did
Mhm.
not get that vibe. And I know that, like, I think, like, halfway through after our conversation about it, when we were texting, um, about like what this universe looks like, and I'm
Mhm.
like, this feels like an open world. The way it's written, at least to me, it felt like it was open world, but it makes sense that it was like kind of like a maze type of a thing.
Mhm.
And once I put that concept into my reading of it, I think I started to hate the book more.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but uh, see, I felt like from the moment they went down into the dungeon, it was pretty clear to me, and perhaps it could have been like because of the cover art too. It just made me feel like, oh, they're going through tunnels or there's hallways. So it never felt open world. And especially when they described the mini map, it just reminded me of games, either, I don't know, whatever kind of video game where it's like the character's trying to figure out where to go. You have the little map that comes up. So I'm like, oh, they're going through these hallways and they're like, oh, we're gonna turn
Yeah,
left.
but that's
So
the
I
thing. Like,
never got an open world feel.
the fights sound like the fight scenes were so, I think, extravagant that it made. I'm like, how is this confined to a tunnel? Like, they will get killed immediately. Like
I
they're
mean, I think
running.
that's why the numbers dropped. They started with what, 12 or 10 million people, and by the end there was under a million. So a lot of people did immediately die.
Yeah, but also it's just like no, the instructions were not clear on how to navigate that, and I don't know. I just didn't like that it was a tunnel. Like I was like, I would have liked this better if it was open world.
I mean, it could have been a wide hallway. I don't know. I think because they described in like one of the fights, for example, when they were on the first level with the goblins, he talked about drive like how their machine that they were driving, their tank, kind of like barely fit.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know that. I guess I wasn't thinking of it as you could reach out and touch both sides necessarily, but
Okay, that's fair because I was thinking that.
I also don't know. I think with a book like this, I try not to overanalyze because I think it's kind of fantasy like in the sense that it could be kind of however you imagine it. Now, if you just don't like what you're imagining, that's fair. But I kind of just get you just
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
don't think I
suspending
liked what.
disbelief, right?
What was that last part?
It's sort of like when you have to suspend your disbelief. It's just you just kind of go along with the ride.
I guess it was. It
But I
was.
don't think it's a book for everyone, right? I don't think everyone would like this book, right? Just like everyone doesn't like playing video games. Everyone doesn't like, the back and forth. I'm reading dialogue.
I didn't dislike this book. I just didn't like love it. And I was also just put off by how many people were like writing a whole like essay on Goodreads about how like hilariously funny this book was. And I just was like, this is not giving that to me. And it was just like some parts were funny, but like it wasn't like, ah, oh my god, this is hilarious. I'm like having these out loud moments. And like I saw this uh excuse me, it was like by accident. I got onto book talk on
Mhm.
YouTube by accident, and I found this guy who was like a book talker who had the author on, and he was like, "This like changed so many people's lives," and I was like, "Now you're upsetting me."
Well, why did they
Like
say it changed people's lives? Did they elaborate?
because it was funny
Oh, well. I mean, I thought it was there were definitely moments that I laughed.
out loud.
I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, like not cracking up necessarily, but it did get an audible like, That was funny. Like it was a funny joke to me.
Okay, yes. But I'm just saying like, but not
I
like
did
actual
laugh.
laughter. But I don't know. I think maybe I'm being a little bit overly critical about the whole laughter thing. Um,
I mean,
I do.
I don't know. I think, see, for me, I don't go into a lot of I don't do a lot of research on the author. I don't really do a lot of background. So I don't really have anything in my mind as far as I don't have any expectations. Like I kind of just started reading it and it did make me laugh. You know, it kind of reminded me of different either games
I
or
didn't have
whatever.
expectations either. I only started looking him up like halfway through the book. Like I was like, who is this guy? Why is
Yeah,
he
but see,
writing
I don't
this?
do that at all.
Oh yeah, no. I start looking them up because I start to get judgy. I will say things that I thought were funny was that Carl had no pants throughout the whole thing. The foot fetish that the like governing AI had over Carl's feet was hilarious,
Yeah.
and
Well,
how
that's the
like
sponsor because my understanding was that they would get boxes from fans. So it
yeah,
was like this is a fan that likes that this guy is barefoot and he keeps sending him pedicure kits and like he's
yeah.
helping him get stronger feet and now he had to continue shoeless. It's like got to the point where if she put shoes on,
It
it
would like
affects the
lose.
skill.
Yeah, and like he would like lose followers and stuff, and he
Yeah,
was
like
thinking
I
it was
thought
gonna
that was
be.
funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. I thought, and the comments about the feet were funny, and I don't know. I thought Princess Donut was like the best. I'm shocked again that you feel like equal footing, but I thought she was really funny. Um, this is like kind of forward looking, but I was like looking at the cover art for the different books,
Hmm.
and like the last book, because Princess Donut is like on all the covers, and
Yeah.
then there's like this deformed looking creature on like the seventh book, and I'm like,
Hmm.
if they changed how Princess Donut looks, I'm over it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily spoil myself on that, but I would say I think that it seems to be coming that they may undergo some sort of looks change because, you know, as you get deeper into the game, in which I neglected in my summary earlier to say the way this works is there's 18 levels to this
It's too much.
dungeon. There's like 18 floors. So as
Can we like
you
talk about that for a second though, the floors? Because like, why are there so many floors if people don't even get past like floor nine?
I mean, I think the point is just to make it super hard.
Right, but then just make like stop it at like 9 or 10.
Well, they are trying to speed up the game in this book. The syndicate was like, we gotta kill these people faster, so they made it kind of hard.
Yeah, but then why do you need 18
I
levels?
mean, I don't know. I figure when we get to book two, they might tell us.
Girl.
I'm
I
looking forward to book two. I mean, hey, I'm excited. I think because you mentioned character development, I think a lot of these things they might get talked about as you keep reading the book series. You know, it's like
I'm
Hunger
so fucking
Games.
sick of
You have to
you.
keep reading.
I mean, I'm happy to read the second book. I don't have high expectations. I will say maybe on book 3, I am curious to know because I think book 3 or 4 he got picked up by a publishing house. So like the first few books he self-published, which I think attributes to, in my view, the quality of the book. But I would assume that the book is written better, or like his writing is better later on.
Well, what did you not like about the writing? I didn't have a problem with the writing. I mean, it's dialogue-y, so I don't know. Like, it's
I
not
just
really a like a literature moment. So I guess like, what were your issues with the writing?
like I felt like it was just like I could tell that there were certain points where he just like I don't know, there was words he was really into saying a lot. Like he used the word dubious like more than I felt was necessary. I felt like that was like his favorite word for a while. There was another word he used that I was like, you could have used a thesaurus. And it doesn't need to be overly complicated. And I'm not trying to be like this book sucks because it did not. It was fine. And I know
I'm
it sounds like
curious. I mean, you gave it 3 stars, so I know that you didn't hate it because the other book you wanted to give 0.
I gave it 1.
I know, 'cause you had to give a star.
Yeah, I didn't like that book. Let me look at my notes because I remember taking. I was like, "What is with that?" Uh, oh, and the word bulbous. He used that a lot too, and I was
I
like,
didn't even notice.
"I did."
That's so funny because like I'm now imagining your notes versus mine. And you're like, oh God, if I see the word bulbous one more time, and I'm over here like, very interesting characters. I thought the Karen was funny. Meth addicted llamas, like this is
Oh yeah.
interesting. And we find out that the reason that they do this is because whatever the host, whatever the culture is that's being, their planet is being taken over, they try to insert
Oh
cultural
yeah.
awareness for their
Yeah.
audience. Because, you know, your audience is like however many alien species are in this galaxy. So it helps them to see a familiar alien that they know, but it's also has the personality of the Earth species. So it's kind of like they get to learn about Earth now. I'm sure it's like the very stereotypical, but it was. I thought that was funny. That was a good touch. I did not have any notes about about the vocabulary. Perhaps that just speaks to my own vocabulary level. We got an SAT scholar over here. That's okay. That's good because someone else out there, I'm sure, read this book and said, if I see bulbous or dubious, do you have any other words? One more time,
Those are the two words that I
I'm
was
gonna be
like, "This is
pissed.
enough." I was like,
So
"Enough."
I get it. You know what? It's like it's other people will notice those things. I think it's a fair criticism. I just did, you know, I read these books. I'm like, I'm along for the ride. Let's just see
I mean,
where it
I'm along
goes.
for the ride too. I think our journeys are different. Like, you know what I mean? Which is what makes this conversation fun. But like what my takeaways were and your
Yeah.
takeaways were, you're obviously way more optimistic than I am.
I try to, because if I'm reading hundreds of pages, I like to stay positive. Otherwise, I'll quit reading. You know, it's like a show. If it doesn't pick up by a certain time, I'm not gonna finish that series.
Yeah, like I'm
I'm
flipping through it,
tapping
and the
out.
angrier I get, the more I'm like, let's get through this. Like I'm
You are
just
like a masochistic, like completionist.
yeah. I
I
just
love
can't.
that for you though. Like, you
Thank
will
you.
finish a book no matter what.
I try to, and it's very rare when I don't finish a book. But like, and I think we talked about this last time. But like, it's just so hard for me to not finish a book.
Yeah.
Uh, and I also feel like because I'm a hater and I'm committed to like that, I feel
Yeah.
like I have all of like I paid my dues and I'm allowed to hate as much as I possibly can or want to because not only did I pay for this book with my American dollars,
Uh-huh.
but I finished it. So I give it a fair shot and I hated every second of it and I feel like I'm able, not this book particularly, but I'm able
Yeah.
to like criticize it however I see fit because I did the thing. Like there are people who hate things and they have like no context.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Right. So I'm just like, no, I hate this and for good reason and here's why. And
I
sometimes the
think
music
that's
is
totally fair. I just
yeah.
find it amusing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just like my whole shtick. Um,
Like I just think
um,
it's funny because it's like probably polar opposite ways of reading a book.
I guess not. I don't know.
I
Because
mean,
for
it's
me, I
okay.
can
I
read
just
through
I don't
everything
know. I
even if I
like
hate
to
it.
feel like I like to go through the journey of whatever the media is.
I like the journey too. I think we just have different journeys. I think we just journey differently. I will say another thing that I wanted to talk about with the book is the old people.
Oh yeah. Whew.
That
Ball and
was
chains, man.
you said what?
They're just like ball and chains for those workers.
And it was just I was just like why? And
I mean, I think that's a good question in general. Is like, I think I thought about it. You know, if Like if I was in this game show, would I be a player? You know, we encounter some other characters where they're perfectly okay killing other humans. You know, would I be that type of player? Would I abandon my group? You know, what would it take for me to abandon my
Yeah.
group? So I think it was just an interesting topic of because I think that staff had worked, and by the way, for our listeners, there's a group of characters that is made up of a senior living staff and some of the residents.
Yeah.
So I think that staff had been working with those people for long enough that it kind of felt like family members to them. So I think because they gave them the choice, right? Some of them said, "I'm just gonna stay here, and when the
Right.
floor collapses, I'm gonna die." But the
Right.
others who wanted to live, I think they were kind of like, I can't just. I don't know if you were in there with your grandma, you'd be like, "All right, bye. I gotta leave you." Maybe you would. I don't know. But I thought that was an interesting thing to think about is what would it take for you to abandon people in your group? He's got a cat. Carl has a
Yeah.
cat with him.
So
I don't know that I would want to tote my cats around.
right. So
Like,
my
y'all
whole
really
thing is
holding me back.
the residents people, the residents
Hmm.
group, uh, it seemed like the and this is my critique. Obviously, what I'm saying is a critique. Everything I say is a critique, but I feel like the whole point of putting that in the story was to get what's her name? No, not Beatrice. Agatha.
Hmm.
To get Agatha as like because there's foreshadowing about Agatha. Like someone thinks that she's like
Right.
an
Part of the
alien.
part of the game, or yeah.
Yeah. So I think the whole point of that was to introduce Agatha, and I just did not feel like it was an effective use of like word count.
I
Like I
mean, I
just
think
feel
it
like,
served to introduce her, but I didn't think that was the sole purpose.
all right, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. So I misspoke. I think there were a few things, but I do think one of the main things was to introduce Agatha. I do think, to your point, there was like the topic of like empathy and like human connection and what would you do in a situation like that. Cool, and I liked how they did that. But I just felt like there was too many of them. There was way too many of those old people. Like they could have done like a handful of them.
Well, they were outside during a fire drill, so that's why there were so many.
I know why there were so many, but that whole thing didn't have to happen, is what I'm
I mean,
saying.
how many would you have wanted?
Like just a handful, because I didn't need
Like
to know
three?
about all these freaking people. Like there was just way too much, and there was like way too much going on about it. Like them building this whole like trolley thing for them, and I'm like, oh my god. And then the guy who just like pissed everywhere. And mind you, there's a rule for the listeners. There's a rule that you can't pee in public. This
Yeah.
guy's a liability. This old man just like he's senile, like he is not all there, and he just whips his dick out and pisses wherever, whenever. And knowing that they said that in the game, they were like, if you do that, you and your whole crew is donezo. Like we're killing all of y'all, and they just keep this guy.
Well, not just them. It would be anybody around because the thing has to consume 666 souls.
Like I would have. I'm sorry. I would have dropped that guy immediately. I mean, like you're staying up on this floor. I don't care what you want.
I mean, yeah, well, I guess that's that's your answer to the case study question of what would it take for you to abandon someone in the group, or
Yeah.
do you allow them to tag along even though they're kind of dead weight?
No. Hard stop. No.
That's what I'm saying. What if you happen to be there with your grandma that has dementia? Like, you're just gonna be like, "Hey,
I mean, either
we
I'm
in
dying
for
with her,
you."
or like I think I'd probably just be like, well, this is it for us. I don't think I'll leave them, but like,
I
because
think
I
that's
don't know
kind of
that I
how it
want
was for
to
the
do
staff.
that. What was that?
I think that's kind of how it was for the staff. They view these people as their pseudo family, so they're like no man left behind.
Yes, then just die on the first floor.
He didn't want to die. He wasn't ready.
They weren't even doing anything. Like they weren't even trying. Like Their whole
No,
thing was just like I didn't care for it, and I
I
wanted
mean,
to
it
just put
didn't
that.
bother me. I
I know
mean,
it
I don't
bothered me a
know.
lot. Like
I
it really
yeah.
irritated me.
I think it also kind of showed too because when Carl and Donut kill the spirit that's there to consume them, it showed how there's ways of breaking the game, and it kind of shows how I don't know. I think it introduced many other things other than just that. I think it also they worked together to like build skills. They did those people did help them beat the boss. So I think it's sort of like, do you choose to team up? How does that look? Will you go your? Because then I think by the end of when there was time to go to the next floor, they kind of were like, we'll just be going our separate ways. But kind of nice to know there's some people out there that have your back.
You're not wrong. I just didn't care for them.
I get it. I feel you. I felt pretty neutrally about it. I was curious to know, what would happen in the sense of these people are basically dead weight. So, like we saw, one of the staff members does get killed because of that guy.
Right.
So, hey,
Yeah. And then speaking of like other character development stuff that I was just like, and I'm assuming at this point you're probably neutral about most things about this book, but I had big issues with is Beatrice, the ex girlfriend. Like, there's just certain, like, the cat could have just been Carl's cat, but whatever. They want to build stuff
yeah.
around it. My issue with bringing up Beatrice all the time, which Princess Donut
Mm-hmm.
brings up Beatrice, the ex girlfriend, um, in ways that are just like mean and hurtful to Carl. Like in the beginning of the story, Carl finds out that he's being cheated on,
Right.
and Princess Donut just like drops these nuggets throughout the story. Like, yeah, like she had a lot of guys in rotation, and then just like cut to something else, and it's just like, what are we doing here except just being hurtful?
I mean, I think in some ways it was just meant to be either funny, but also I think taking into consideration this is a cat, I'm like, this probably does track for a cat because
Well, cats
they-
don't speak,
they'd
so like
roast you if they could.
I get that was just like really hurtful, and like there was like a part I wrote it down, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Um, yeah, I wrote like, why does Donut bring up random stuff about Beatrice and then provides no follow up or explanation, and it's mean, and
I
then
mean, what kind of follow up were you hoping for? I kind of thought she was supposed to be a mystery type of character, and I actually thought before the end, Beatrice, and so kind of before we got, well before um, I got to the end, and they talk about Agatha and how she potentially is like part of this broader game. I thought that about Beatrice. I'm like, I wonder if maybe there's aliens that they were among them, just living as in human form, and perhaps we'll see them later. So I kind of thought that, especially because they were bringing her up often, I was like, oh, we probably will see her in a future book. And I thought potentially maybe she was like an alien, maybe she was kind of like Agatha. So
I did
I
think that
didn't, I guess I think in my mind they were just supposed to be jokes. And I felt like,
those
you
are like
know,
mean.
like, I mean, some people like mean humor. But I also just thought that is what a cat would do, especially like a female Persian pampered cat, and she did not like Carl initially. So I kind of just thought this tracks for this cat that's like, I'm stuck here with you, and I
I
wish
thought
I
she
had my
liked Carl.
owner. And my owner didn't even like you, and so they kind of, I think it kind of helped to evolve their relationship too, because by the end they're, a lot more friendly with each other. It's like a better partnership. So I guess I didn't really take it to heart like that.
I mean, it was just weird. Like, because like Carl will be like, "What?" And then she'll just like not address it, and it was just like, okay. And there was
I
just
mean,
like a
I think
couple.
it was supposed to be somewhat humorous.
Did you laugh?
I may have laughed at some of them. I can't remember all the times that she was brought up, but whenever she was brought up, it just made me think like, well, I wonder where she was during the collapse. Like, is she in the game and maybe they'll run into her, or is perhaps she was an alien and because they said how she just kind of disappeared. So then I'm like, oh,
Right.
maybe she's also part of this syndicate or something like that. So I didn't really think too deeply about it because I just kind of thought it was some sort of foreshadowing mechanism. I didn't really think about it in terms of this as being a character that needed to be fleshed out, really.
So it wasn't like I want Beatrice to be fleshed out, but it seemed like there was because earlier we were talking about like the emotional element or like the
Hmm.
human element of stuff, and I felt like Carl was going through a really he just experienced something really fucked up before the end of the world. He
Yeah,
just found out that his living girlfriend was cheating on him
right.
and posting about it on social media right before the world ended.
Right.
And um I just felt like
Felt like Donut was insensitive.
Donut was what?
Insensitive.
Yeah,
And
like
he was. But
and
he's
it's just
also a
like
cat. Like how much empathy do you think this cat is gonna have?
but it's not even about the empathy of the cat. It's just like why are we just like
Oh, I mean, I
being a
don't
dick
know. I guess
to
that's
this
a
guy for no
question for the
reason. Like the cat
author.
being a dick wasn't an issue to me. It was like,
Yeah.
so we're just not gonna unpack like Carl's fucked up feelings about being cheated on and then also
I
wanting to keep
mean,
her cat.
I think that they will. This is a series, so I do think some of that stuff will eventually be talked about. But I also think it was probably an attempt at humor in many cases, because it's supposed to be like a sarcastic, like, "Oh, she didn't even like you like that." Like I think it's just meant to be.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like Captain Underpants for like adults. Like
It's
I didn't,
fair
I felt
enough.
like
I
it
haven't read
was,
it, so I can't say.
yeah, but it's just like it was so quick and mean and like I'm like I get that like maybe it could be funny. Like some of them was funny. Like she mentioned something about a daddy tax and she was
Yeah.
like it's a daddy tax every time she had to like sleep. Like Beatrice had to sleep with Carl and I was like that's mean and funny. I get that. But like
I think just some of the jokes didn't land for you.
a lot of the jokes did
And
not
that's
land for me.
okay. Because it is, I mean, you're not wrong. It's kind of corny, but I don't know. I guess I don't mind. I didn't mind that type of humor. It was funny to me.
And to be fair, again, and I know I sound like I'm being like super critical, which I am, but I didn't hate the book.
I
I
mean,
feel
we
like it
can't tell, but I believe you.
this is how I enjoy things.
I, hey, man, everyone, we got our own ways of showing that we like something.
And me just tearing it apart.
But that's okay. Look, some
Yeah.
people, the criticism is part of the why they like it. I don't know. So it's okay.
Yeah. And then,
And
all
I
right,
think
so
it will
let's.
resonate. There's probably many listeners who are going to feel similarly or read similarly to you. So it's great. We'll be relatable.
I also feel like with other characters that I I was intrigued by, and I am optimistic that they will come up again. Is the couple
Oh, the
that
human killers.
yeah,
I
I thought that
hated
was
them. I didn't
interesting.
like them.
What?
I
That
just
was
thought it
like
was so unnecessary. I'm like, God, like there's all these aliens and monsters you gotta fight. Y'all wasting time killing other people for what?
I felt like that added like an element to like a video game aspect to it. Like there's like this antagonistic couple that's just like going rogue and I was like okay I get this like video game feel because like there's always like a
Yeah,
wrench thrown into a video game that like is like a twist so I thought that was like a cool twist so I didn't like them
it
as
it does
people
add to the layers.
yeah I thought it was a cool layer add and I did think it was weird how like later on in when they were on that interview
Hmm.
and they killed their own kid
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't. All right,
that was
like I
weird.
guess it does show the nature of people. We got some evil folks that entered the dungeon.
Yeah, and
You
that was
know?
weird that they killed their own kid and then blamed Carl for doing that.
Right? Yeah, I thought that was odd too because I'm like, girl, you
I
did
was like, yeah,
that,
you're reaching for straws here. Like
right?
that's not his fault. And I respected him from like for basically trying to like lay that out for him to be like, I understand why you're upset.
Right.
However, this is entirely your fault.
Right. And she was like on
Like,
this like revenge tour now for this. Like, all right.
yeah, he's like cuz like for the listeners, in this it's like a video game. So like when you get like hurt, um you could heal over time. If you give yourself time and space, you could heal yourself. And like
Right.
there's potions and whatever so that you could heal yourself. So what happened with this couple and Carl is that they are like human killers for no reason. I think they had like someone instruct them something else about the game.
I think their guide, and so
Yeah.
for the listeners, every entrant, they have a guide that kind of serves to give them tutorials and whatnot. So I suppose their guide kind of
Yeah.
brainwashed them into thinking that was the way. But I also just I can't I don't know. I have to believe they were
Yeah.
truly like hypnotized into this because why in the world? I guess I just don't see the purpose in just like the fun of killing other humans, right?
I mean, I don't think this game is fun for a lot of the participants
I don't
anyway.
even,
Like
well, I
Carl
just mean
says
the
a lot
fun
of
of it
times that
because they just don't really have strong reasons, right? Like they don't have, there's no real compelling reason. It wasn't like these people attacked you. It wasn't
right.
like, it just felt like a cheap way for you to steal people's stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of was like, I mean, I ain't care for them, but I understand why they're there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Well, I like that element of the book
That's
of like
fair.
having the antagonistic couple in
Right.
there. And like the reason why they killed their daughter is because Carl set a trap for them
Hmm.
while they were trying to kill him and
Right. It was
Donut.
self-defense.
Right. And then the daughter, who's a child, she got caught up in the trap, and I think she got like hurt, but she could
Hmm.
have healed herself. But
Right.
instead, they killed her, and I
Right.
think because she was, and to our point from earlier, she was dead weight to them because she just wouldn't kill people,
Right.
and they were like, "You're pissing us off,"
Right. Which is
and
wild because this is your 13-year-old daughter.
right, like so, and now they're upset because they killed her.
Yeah.
Um, so that was strange. That was strange, but I did like their element. It was giving like what's that
It does add
movie?
complexity. It does.
Yeah, and I liked it. And it was like you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he's a robot person and then there's like another robot person?
Terminator?
Terminator. Yeah, it was giving Terminator type of vibes. Where, like there's like a
That's
fight
fair.
between the
I haven't
villains.
seen that in a long time.
Same. But it's like similar to that where the villain's just like
Yeah.
so uncouth for no reason and you're just
Right.
like
It's like,
you
why?
don't have to do this.
I,
And it's
oh,
just like, I do because I feel like it. And it's like,
I,
oh,
for the love
okay,
of the
well,
game, I guess. Like, made me wonder. I'm like,
right.
did y'all murder people outside of here? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
it was weird. Uh, Another thing I wanted to talk about was the fairies. Um,
The Karen fairies. Because they were Karens. They were supposed to be Karens. They had
yeah,
like the Karen haircut and all that.
yes, and and I specifically noted the chapter for whatever reason, not that like I would go back and reference it,
Yeah.
but chapter 33, the fairy scene was really off-putting to me. That was what I wrote.
Oh,
Um, I hated that. I felt like it was like an unnecessarily like gruesome slaughter situation. They like tricked the fairies into a corner of the cave or whatever this dungeon, and then they like fucked them up real bad, and they were like crying for help, and I was just like,
I mean,
uh,
they had to kill him though.
yes, but like I felt like this whole book was just like very like touch and go with all the killings, and then for the Karens, there was that part where he like puts a fucking fairy in a blender.
Well, he had to make the potion.
I
That's what the
understand. I'm
recipe
just saying
required.
it's like this book wasn't that gruesome up until the fairy scene. And
I
then
don't even
also
think it
after
was gruesome though. See, I guess I don't take it as gruesome because it's like this is a fake thing. Like it's just like a monster. I don't know.
oh my gosh.
I mean, I didn't love. So the fairies were not my favorite monster character,
They were
but
not mine either.
I guess I didn't think about it because I'm like, well, you got to kill all of them. So
I don't know. It was just weird, like them like crying for help, and then Carl feel kind of bad about it. I was just like, ugh, this is like giving me the ick.
I
But
mean, I
you
think it's
said
another one of those things, though. It's like, would that? I mean, we're not natural born killers, so
right.
how does that make you feel if you're part of this game?
I mean, it made
Kill or
me
be
feel real good,
killed.
but also it's a survival thing, right?
It is but I think there's still layers to that. You are, and because we find out too for our listeners, the monsters are these are all species from alien species from other planets that had their homes taken too. Like at some point, they were part of this. They were in the game, and now this is they're fighting to survive for themselves too. So I think that's partly why he was kind of shook up about it because it was sort of like, I mean, the way you feel about killing other humans, well, these other monsters, I guess we should call them aliens because they're not really monsters,
Yeah.
but these other aliens, it's a similar thing for them too. They're fighting to
To
stay
survive.
alive as well, and which is why the syndicate is so messed up. You pitting all these alien races against each other, kill or be
Um,
killed.
you said that the fairies were not your favorite alien slash monsters.
They were not. I
What?
think because I just didn't find that part of the book as funny. Because I said, I don't
Right.
know. I don't.
So
I don't
what?
care about
Who
Karen.
was like? Who was your favorite? Which
Um,
monster or boss was like your most that you were like, oh, this is fun.
I thought the meth addicted llamas were funny. So that kind of was a fun one.
Okay.
I
They
don't
were
know.
addicted to
I
meth. Or
I
like
think I
your
kind of just.
shit.
I think I enjoyed each one for what their stories were, but the fairies were like, I didn't really care for them.
That's fair.
So I guess
I
I'll
think
say it that way. It
my
was I didn't have like a favorite, but I also they
yeah.
were just like, no, I didn't like that.
I think the one that I liked the most, as far as like I liked how it was like written, were like the troll people,
The goblins.
the goblins. Yeah, I enjoyed them as like a concept because I felt like they were the most relatable to the humans. It
Mhm.
felt like almost to me, and uh, so for the listeners, essentially what happens again, this is a video game, so like there's all these things that allow you to do different things and interact with different races and groups and whatever. So early on, Carl gets like this patch, right? To be
Right.
able to like talk to the goblins, which are typically adversarial towards the participants, but he's able to get in. And Princess Donut's charisma is like at 1,000 for whatever reason, and she could just like charm her way into like talking anyone into doing anything. So then, um, the goblins end up like helping them like build stuff, which was pretty cool. Um, I wish that there was more of that, but I do think there's more goblins to come. Like it made it. It looked like there was foreshadowing that goblins will be on other floors,
Right.
so I would look forward to seeing that. Um, but I think that's my other thing. So, what was like your overall like take on which you said that you liked it, but like
Oh, we're on
did
star
you
reviews now.
well, I'm talking about the writing mostly
Oh.
right at this point. So like with like the pacing, the dialogue and the details, you said that um you liked it. I did not dislike it, but I did not I just I felt like it was just there was something missing for me, and I don't really know
Mhm.
what that is. Because I thought the dialogue was fine.
Mhm.
I felt like the cadence between the banter of
Yeah.
Donut and Carl was pretty seamless. I enjoyed that. I felt like it was a little awkward when they were interacting with people outside of their group.
That's fair. I
So I
mean,
felt like that could use work.
yeah, I don't
And
know.
the author did say that he built the characters of Donut and Carl. I think it was based off of Donut's based off of his daughters.
Hmm.
So like I think it was easy for him to be like, oh, this is like my interaction with like my young daughters.
Hmm.
So there was like an ease in building that world around them. But like I don't know, it's like kind of when a parent like is introducing their kids to people that don't really care about kids and they're like my kids are so great and you're just like,
Yeah.
eh, you know? So that's how I felt about the writing style. But I felt like it was just missing something for me and I don't really get the whole comic book vibe. Maybe you could articulate that now more if you'd like, but like I don't understand how you got that from it, but
I mean, it just reminded me of reading it because it's probably just the dialogue, and because it's somewhat of a fantasy,
do you
the
like fantasy typically?
I don't usually pick it to read. But no, I think it just reminded me of when I read something like The Watchmen. And it's just the dialogue feel, kind of imagining these things that are completely made up. So I guess that's how I likened it. I didn't have the reference point of Captain Underwear.
Captain Underpants. I feel
Oh,
like
yes.
if I
I
was
just didn't have that.
savvy, I'd like put it up on the screen, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a fast read. It didn't feel like it was a slog for me to get through, so that's why I just didn't really take issue with, I guess, the writing. I didn't notice some of the things you noticed because it just felt like the story was just moving for me.
I know it sounds like I hated the book and I did not. I felt the same way. Like I
We believe you. We believe that you didn't hate the book because you're telling us you didn't hate it.
thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
not arguing with that with you with that. Like,
Um, but I do feel similarly. Like I do think that the book moved along well. Like it was an I just yeah, I think I just didn't it's not my favorite book,
that's
but it's
fair.
not like the worst book. 3 stars, and I guess we're getting into the ratings now, which I foreshadowed. I think 3 stars was like
Well, I saw it on Goodreads. I was like, oh, she kind of liked it.
yeah, because like it was I just felt like it had a lot of potential, but also knowing that it was self-published, I was like I gave it more grace too, because I probably was gonna give it a 2 if I didn't know as much about like
Mhm.
him self-publishing. So I think for someone who's self-published and self-edited and all that stuff, he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I didn't read it. I didn't think, I wouldn't have guessed that he was self-published. I didn't find the writing to be like bad in that way. Um, I enjoyed it. It made getting to the end. I felt like I do want to know what happens next, so I would look forward to reading book two. I would say I would give it 4 to 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was good.
Oh my god. I mean the average Goodreads rating is 4.5 stars.
Oh yeah, see, this crowd pleaser.
So this is the thing. So there was approximately 150,000 ratings on Goodreads.
Mhm.
19, so round numbers, 20,000 reviews.
Yeah.
Like people literally sat down and wrote a review. Um, and I will say a lot of, and I think I briefly talked about this with you over text, which was a lot of people who gave it 5 stars, or like 4 stars and higher, they listened to it on audio. So I imagine that on audiobook it's probably really fun to hear.
Yeah.
Um and then when I looked, because obviously I'm gonna look at like the bad rating. So anyone who rated it 3 stars and below were a lot of people who physically read the book
Hmm.
and they were just like, this isn't my cup of tea, like the writing isn't like
Yeah.
my jam. And I mean, I'm glad that you give it a four and a half, because that kind of like like goes directly against my whole rant about like audiobooks versus reading, because you read the book and you're like, oh, that was nice. But
Yeah.
I mean, good, I guess. Maybe I'm strict.
I think this would be a good book for a book club too. I think it would be like a fun book to read as a book club because there's lots of stuff to talk about. I think it's a nice, fast read. It's not like overly complicated. I think people would enjoy that in a book club setting.
I agree. I mean, this is kind of like a book club situation, and like
It
it's
is,
obvious this
but
gets
I was
traction.
thinking about book clubs I was in the past, and I feel like they would enjoy this type of thing.
Oh yeah.
It's easy to talk about.
It is. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. If you're in between books and you're looking for a palate cleanser, like if you just came from a heavy book and you
Yeah,
want something that's like very light but also just like a stimulus for imagination, I do think this is a good book for that. Like if you're
it
just like
is.
I want to break in between books but I want to read something, I think this is
Right.
like a good book to do that. If you're looking for like the next best thing,
Yeah.
I don't recommend this. I
Yeah,
feel like a
I can
four
see
and a
that.
half is a lot for this book. That's like such a high.
I'm always on the high end because I don't generally hate books. Like if we read a book and I give it a one or a two, that means I really did not want to finish it.
I look forward to that day. Like I cannot wait until
And
we get
I
to
will
that day.
have 8 pages of notes telling you why I hated it.
I think that would be so much fun. I would love to like get a book that you hate
I'm
just so
sure
I
it'll
can like
happen. But
yeah.
I generally try to appreciate the whatever book I'm reading. I try. Doesn't
I
always
mean,
happen.
I try too. It's just different. It just looks different.
I think you have higher expectations than I do too, often with the books.
It's not that I have a high expectation of the book. I it's like and we talk about this a lot. It's when pop culture is like people overhype things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to have like a critical eye on
I
it.
think
Like
that's
you know what I
fair.
mean?
All right.
But the mixed reviews I think make sense.
Yeah.
I understand why people feel how I feel
Mm-hmm.
via Goodreads, and I understand why after talking to you why you feel how you feel about it. I don't see the vision, but I get it.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's sort of one of those books where it's either kind of your cup of tea or it's not. I do think it's one of those where you can't if you're not into the humor, if you're not really feeling it, you're not it's not going to get better.
Yeah, I agree. I could read like I'm happy to read the whole series. Don't get me
I
wrong.
know because you like to punish yourself by reading things you hate. I love that because I would like to read the next book.
Yeah, we're gonna read the next book and that's fine. But we have to like break it up, obviously.
Oh yeah, we
Because
don't need to read it anytime
yeah,
soon. But I am looking forward to coming back to the dungeon.
yeah, the dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Um, Also, who do you like better, Cabbage or Princess Donut?
No, Donut, because she was like a real character. I didn't get to hear enough from Cabbage. I feel like Cabbage just had a really small role and they could have a
Okay,
bigger role. But I do like Donut. I do
okay,
wish she wasn't a Persian cat though, because they're really unattractive cats to me.
really.
They're sort of like the pugs of the cat world.
I love.
Like their face
Well,
is
I have an
so
English
smooshed
bulldog,
and
so
flat, and they
yeah.
can't breathe.
I think because I have a dog that's like that, I think
Yeah,
I love those dog. Like I like those cats. Like if I had to get a
yeah.
cat, it'd be like that.
I'm also not a super big like long hair cat person, so I don't know. They usually have like long hair.
They have long hair.
Yeah, that's why she was like, "Brush me, Carl. You have to be pretty."
I thought they
They usually have
like
like
how.
long hair. You gotta brush them. I think there are maybe some short hair, but typically they're like little floof balls.
Oh yeah, they do have a lot of hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why she's like a show cat. You gotta be pretty and have pretty
Yeah,
hair.
yeah. I love this cat.
I also thought it was funny because Persian cats are so lazy. So I'm like, this is interesting that she's coming into her own. But go donut.
Yeah, I think.
I love all cats, so I can appreciate the choice, but I would have selected a different breed.
What breed would you have chose?
I don't know, like a Bengal, something athletic.
That's fair. But
You could
I
have been a
think
show cat, but like Persians, that's like me having Theodore in the dungeon. He's gonna be like, look, we gotta eat, we gotta take a nap. Like I'm not really trying to do all this. I'm like this cat. Oh, mm-mm.
and for the listeners, Theodore is
He is a
Danielle's eldest
he is
son.
my eldest son, my 10-year-old British short hair. He looks like a Cheshire cat or Puss in Boots for the visual.
Yeah, he's great. So, final words on Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Highly
Any final
recommend.
thoughts?
You like action-packed fun, you should check this book out. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, don't read the whole thing because you may not gonna get better if you don't like it from the jump. But if you want to feel like you're in a video game, I think you should give it a try.
Okay. My final thoughts are the opposite of that. But I think if you're interested in a different reading experience, um, sure. I think give it a fair shot. I think you should read it all the way through. That's just my stance on books.
That's high praise because the last book you were like trash belongs in the trash. So
Oh, I mean, I've thrown books out in the trash before, so it wasn't that crazy.
you can at least
But
donate them.
I
Somebody
didn't
else
want
might
anyone
like
else to
it.
take that book. I wanted that book off the shelves.
Oh,
Like
no.
I was like, this needs to go in the crap, like in the trash. And quite frankly, I wanted to burn it, but I was like, this is a bit too
That's
much. So
extreme.
just yeah, I threw it
You need to get a
in the garbage.
fireplace. You can throw them in the fireplace one day.
Yeah, I wanted to burn it. Like I literally was like, I don't want another person to get this copy. And if I could get rid of
I can
more
save
copies,
just one person from reading this garbage.
literally that was my thought process. I was like, I don't want this to get in another person's hands. Like this book needs to end here. So I didn't feel that with I forgot that last book.
I love that.
Um,
Crusader, I love it. Principled.
Crusader.
You're like you're a crusader for the bad books to never be read again
Oh yeah, no, they're
by
done.
some
They're done for good.
unsuspecting reader. So, very principled. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, I think Crawler Carl. I do think that you should give it a chance. It's definitely a palate cleanser type of a book. Um, 3 stars is like very middle of the road for me. Like if I give something 3 stars, it means that like I don't hate it, I don't love it. Writing style is very digestible, I think. So
Ooh.
you don't have to think too hard. Uh, you don't have to look at the vocabulary like I did.
Yeah.
It's really not that deep. It's just deep for me because I'm weird. Uh, and I think that's all, folks.